Welcome back to Coriander Society Adventures. I'm your game master, tormented by gnomes, joined once again on tonight's episode by Beatdown Boulevard. If you're just joining us, our hero Gastone is in the middle of an extended dream sequence in which he is lucid dreaming with Medwethyn, the Grey Elf Oniromancer from the court of Perianth. And after going through a couple of lessons, learning a bit about how dreaming works and dream magic works and stuff like that, and then taking a tour of the city of Northport inside of Gastone's own mind and eating cucumber sandwiches on the bridge, Medwethyn has now presented some sort of a huge diorama of a city filled with very angry elves. I'm going to call that the short of it, not the long of it. And the detail that I left out as this figure extends this piece of Lacunian technology and telepathically tells the elves that if they find for them the power of the ancients, they will deliver the means to get vengeance on those who wronged them. You see underneath the hood of this 8-foot-tall enormous creature, 6 tentacles stretched down from its face. Its head is like a squid or an octopus with 4 tentacles and 2 exceptionally long ones. Medwethyn resurfaces in her mind and turns to you. This is something that John and I both witnessed. Neither of us have been here. Behold Zogatha, the city of the drow. They're coming for us, Gastone.
Why?
For the sins of our forebears. She wipes away the cavernous city, replacing it with the treetop canopies of Perianth at night. The chill of autumn seeps into your bones. Mist plays throughout the branches. And overhead, hanging in the sky, is a moon. Gray and covered with thin, dark lines. Our forebears defeated them 1,000 years ago, the last time that the elven armadas were gathered. We exiled them in defeat to the Spider Moon. Perianth is a world of lushness and beauty and bounty, plentiful. There is enough here for us to live forever. A Spider Moon, barren, nearly devoid of minerals, water, food, just enough to eke out an existence. When we defeated them, when our forebears defeated them, we sent them there. And we took from them the means to travel across the skies. Banished and marooned and exiled. And we've kept an eye, but they've never been able to leave. They were stranded there for generations and generations, until recently. They've been just 5 years ago. Somebody gave them the means to create Spelljammers. Now they're pirates, raid our ships. It's one of the reasons why King Indogalad's ether relay is so important. Because with every passing day, the Spacelians become more dangerous. They strike from nowhere, kill or capture everyone they come across, and cut us off from each other. With the relay, we can outrun them. We can safely reach one world or another, but they become more bold with every passing day. And now, now we know what they're looking for and how they got released. Somebody else found them and set them loose on us. And they're looking for the knowledge of the ancients. She looks directly at you. And that's something you understand better than perhaps anyone else in the system. We're going to need your help.
Well, that explains that. So you don't have as much time as you've maybe led me to believe, do you?
I didn't look out to recruit you, Gastone. That wasn't my original intention. Well, yes, but not as a matter of life and death. It was just I'm an artisan. I craft things from magic. I appreciate great beauty and great craftsmanship. And I see that you do as well. And I know with your knowledge and everything you bring, your focus, your intelligence, when I met you, I thought you could prosper at the court of Fluris. That you would be a great boon and that you would be rewarded for your time. It's only after seeing your home that I've understood. It would be more than just a great court appointment for you. You could be absolutely invaluable in stopping them. You don't just have all the knowledge of the world you showed me with its factories and enormous constructs and all of that. You've been to other places as well. You've been to the homeland of the ancients. You've worked with their tools. Even now, you went to sleep amongst those tools. If you could understand magic as well as all of those things, you would be perfectly suited, more so than John, to holding them back and stopping them from accomplishing whatever it is they're attempting. One world has already fallen to them.
Can I see if she's keeping stuff from me?
Roll an insight check. Oh, 25. I'm going to roll this one close to the chest. Am I think I've cleared my disadvantage. Yes, I have. I used it earlier. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. She is not lying to you. Everything that she said is telling the truth. There is something still that rubs you perhaps the wrong way or sort of stands out to you about all this. Maybe it's her approach. Maybe it's the way that she's phrasing things. Maybe it's the fact that, this would be more so than a cozy position at court. This would appeal so directly to you. But she's not lying.
Okay, I'll hold on to that for now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the offer is no more enticing than before. And to be fair, it was enticing to begin with, so it's not a dig necessarily. I think, unless this is like life or death, which I think a moment ago you said it was not, at least not yet. As soon as I'm done what I need to do,
mm-hmm.
You can see.
The only thing I would caution you is that I have beheld the wonders of the city of Spires. And I know its location is secret. I know what John did to find it. And it is urgent that the drow do not also find it. Because if their benefactors get this technology, it could spell the end for all of us. I don't know where they came from. I don't know why they're looking for it. but they've already conquered the forge. And if they find what it is they're looking for, armed with the technology of the Lacunians, I don't know who could oppose them.
What is it you're trying to hide from them?
The city of Spires, the very place where you are right now.
What is the way to get there that you're trying to hide from them?
Its location is a well-kept secret.
Mm-hmm.
It's constantly buried by sandstorms. And so only the locals know where to find it, and even then, not all the locals do. Ashen, you already know this, is not exactly the most populated place. So you know where it is, and the pilgrims know where it is. Just make sure nobody else finds out where it is.
I think I can do that.
All right.
Is there like so essentially they're elves as well? Or what are they?
Yes. They were us. But they were... There's a reason that all the wars of Fluris are fought with words and fans and glances and whispers, and not with armies. Because the last time that it came to war and the elves of Perianth turned on each other, the losers were exiled to the Spider Moon. And driven out with nothing else, forced to live underground because the surface is inhospitable, they were ripe targets, a ready fertile ground for the hideous whispers of the spider goddess, who took their grief and their hate and their bitter sense of betrayal and promised them vengeance. And now they are the drow.
Is there ever... Would I know if I saw them?
Yes. Most likely, yes. They've adapted to life underground. Become extremely pale when devoid of all light.
Yeah.
They've either become extremely pale, or when they've adapted to travel in the space lanes, they've developed camouflage. But they adorn themselves proudly with the symbols of the spider goddess, their ships, which, again, they shouldn't even have. We took their capacity for spelljamming. They must have gotten it from the Illithids, who unleashed them on us. They craft their ships to look like enormous spiders. They've adapted the same tactics the Illithids use in space combat. It's not hard to tell them apart.
Okay. Then we'll keep an eye out and make sure that they don't learn where this place is until basically until we leave this place, and then I find my way back to Perianth.
All right. She nods, seeming to accept that. Be there nothing else, I'll leave you to dwell on what you've learned or to let your conscious mind rest as you choose. She lets the question hang in the air for a moment, seeing if there is anything else.
No, that's all. Well, thank you for what you've shown me.
We'll find each other here again. This won't be the last of your lessons.
Go
ahead.
I was going to say, for originating so far away, I'm starting to feel like we're not that different.
She smiles. There's more in common amongst us than anything else, I think. You're a good one to keep around, Gastone. And with the seriousness of the moment that just passed sort of lifted away, she melts into shimmering mist. The forest of Perianth is still there, but with her mind gone and withdrawn, your subconscious will take over. So the dream state will either just sort of take its normal course as you let it wander again, or you can direct it in a direction of your choice. This, by the way, do you remember when you and John and Asena went to the tomb of Senapulcher?
Yeah.
That's what he did. Well. He used dream magic to pull you into Asena's dreamscape and himself into Asena's dreamscape. All that was from her memories, from the recesses of her mind. So because of that, she was able to go back to that place and experience things that she was too young to really understand, but that were still in her subconscious memory.
Yeah.
So that is something that, while you don't have the ability to bring other people into your dreams or into the dreams of others, recreating things from your own mind to see if you forgot things, to reinvestigate things, that's something that you could do in the future.
Nice.
All right. So, given that your dreams are left to yourself, you can complete your long rest. You can do anything else you'd like to do while lucid dreaming. What are your thoughts on that regard?
I think as for lucid dreaming, I'm good
Mm-hmm.
for that night. I will happily take the benefits of a long rest.
Yes. Go ahead and regain half your level in hit dice if you haven't already, if you need to. And all your hit points, all your class features, all of those are restored once again.
Woo. Okay.
And this time, when you wake up, you aren't alone. The others, Molly is already awake. Boigness is asleep. Boguk is awake and going through his prayers and recitation, his meditation. And Domnica is grumbling about the lack of a good, proper hot meal down here and just going through her rations, gnawing on whatever it is that she can find. None of them had anything resembling the night that you just had. They don't know a thing has gone down. They're all still in this underground ancient laboratory surrounded by Marruspawn Galds, these huge jackal-headed warriors who are, think that you're one of the ancients come back from the distant past, guarding you just where everything left off. That whole dream sequence only took a couple of minutes.
Huh?
Yeah. It's total Inception stuff. Inside of the dreamscape, time passes slower. Not to the same extent as the tachyon distortion field that you created recently, because it's subjective, but it does still pass much, much slower. Mm-hmm. What will you do now that the new day has come upon you?
I'm trying to remember what we were doing before this.
You were developing biological anti-agents to fight the Marruspawn abomination. You were developing...
Yeah.
You were looking into genetic research to figure out what's going on with the Marruspawn to unlock their non-combat forms that they were trying to generate. You had learned from Hara via a sending spell that John and Asena had gone missing. And the worst sandstorm of the century was blocking you off outside. That's pretty much where we left off.
Okay.
So, when you awaken, Vigilance, the Marutact, approaches one of your handlers, the dwarves Boguk and Boigness, because you've established this whole thing where you don't speak directly to them. And Vigilance will graciously inform you that the tower above is completely buried. They don't know whether or not the sandstorm has passed because it's buried completely on the outside. This has been the greatest sandstorm in the century. The deep warrens are still accessible if you want to go down there, but many of them are still loyal to wisdom. I believe that you had thought about some sort of a plan to go down there and to find your way through or to sow unrest in order to reach the other Marutact's pyramid, where you were trying to meet up with the ones who were trying to unlock the ancient forms. I don't know if you got very far in that plan because of the sandstorm and because Samuel is just bathing in the energy of the tachyon pulse and all that stuff.
Oh my god, we left him there, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. He was just vibing. Also, there's a ton of radioactive waste down there, which you have a safe way to pass because of the tunnels, but you don't know how long that area is going to be radioactive. So, options include more research, but your research is hampered by the fact that you don't have all the backlog of research that the Marruspawn have been doing on their own to try to unlock their non-combat forms. If you could reach that other pyramid, you could get access to that research and make big strides towards helping. But it's all sandstormed off. So you'd have to either wait for it to clear, wait for the next sandstorm to blow through, to blow everything out of the way, or find your way through the Undercity, which is a huge labyrinth of tunnels and passages and complexes. It would be, you could try to stealth your way through, you could try to lie your way through, you could try to like instigate a rebellion. So you've got those two things going on, and you still got Samuel, who you haven't seen since you left him charging in the Tachyon field.
Yeah, I wonder if I kind of want to go back and get him first.
Okay.
Or at least see if I can get him.
Mm-hmm. And remember, you can't communicate with him, but Mali can cast Comprehend Languages, so he can communicate with you.
Yeah, which is hopefully going to be enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's going to be, I'm going to try and go through the underground tunnels to, I think you said it was Wisdom, right? No,
Wisdom is the master of all the Marruspawn who don't like you, who don't like humans. Oh. Wisdom is the big, they all have these virtue names, which makes it difficult to tell them apart.
Yeah.
All right, let me pull this up. I have my notes. All right, so you are in Vigilance's base. Discernment. Discernment is the name of the Marruspawn who is trying to reclaim the old non-combat forms. And I'll put some notes here. Let's see. Vigilance runs this lab, thinks you're the ancients. Clarity works for Wisdom, but is hiding. Actually, you know what? Wisdom, leader of the anti-everyone Marruspawn, some kind of prophet. Clarity, loyal to Wisdom, but hiding the research Marruspawn. Discernment, leader of the hidden Marruspawn who want to develop a non-combatant subspecies. There. Dropped in chat for your records for the future.
Nice.
Because all their names are weird and difficult to remember.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So far, plan sounds like get Samuel, bully my way through secret tunnels to... I think I want to try and go to where Hara is to see if I can meet her first, and then I'll worry. Like, I'll put a pause on meeting with Discernment and all that for now.
Okay, so you want to try to rally up with Hara?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a comms device? Did you guys all have communicators?
I think so.
Yeah, you guys all had short length. You got them on Lacunas, right? You guys all have like. Okay, but the problem was earlier. One, they don't work when you're this far underground, and two, they didn't work when you were during the sandstorm because there was a huge static charge built up that generated massive amounts of interference. Mm-hmm. Now, based on your knowledge of science, a ton of sand might block it, but if the sandstorm is over, the sand would be a problem, but it wouldn't be like a complete no-sell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then, is it possible that I could... So then could I try and see what would happen?
You would need... Yeah, you cannot communicate from down here in the underground labs. You need to go up to the spire.
Okay. I mean, I can do that first.
Okay.
I guess I could do that first, then Samuel, then
all right.
Rowley.
So the first thing you want to do is go back up to the spire? Mm-hmm. All right. When you arrive, you see multiple massive Marrusalt warriors like just digging through the sand. And it just shifts. It just keeps shifting. Like they've done a little bit of digging on it, but essentially they're afraid of disturbing it too much because they don't know how much sand is out there. It could be enough to just completely flood the place. There's signs that they've been trying to move around some of it, but other than that, screw it. They're almost giving up on it. They have force fields that block the inner area that should hold off anything, and outside of that, they're just... But they will lower their force fields and let you into the antechamber if you want to go up there and give it a shot.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Roll a Tinker's Tools or Electrician's Tools check. 18. Okay. Based on when you try to key in and see if anybody's out there, you were getting electrostatic interference earlier, and you're not getting that now. So the storm is probably over, but there are hundreds of thousands of tons of sand in the way. So the signal's going out, but you're not able to get enough throughput to send any, like, you think you're connecting to someone on the other side, but it's too broken to send any, like, texts or voice. It's sort of just sort of.
So when you say throughput, do you mean like, is it a power thing? Like,
it's a blockage thing. If you had more power, maybe you could get through, or if you were able to somehow get the message outside of all these tons of sand, you need to figure out something in order to make your way through.
So then what if I try to here? So then what if I use actually, let me look at my character sheet. Make sure I still have it. Oh wow, I still have spell tattoos. I forgot about those.
Those are handy.
Yeah. So remember that jerry-rigged EMP I have?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna. I would like to dismantle that ever so slightly, and use it. How to explain it? I want to use like its power to link to the comms device, but I just don't want it to be an EMP, you know, because the comms device to work.
Okay. All right. Cool. Roll a Tinker's Tools or Electrician's Tools check to do the reroute. There is something I'm neglecting here as well. You have a treasure from chat.
Oh.
And I quote, something science-y.
Ooh, nice and vague.
I will say with a 23, that is enough to create like a major signal booster that should be able to cut through all of this. But you also have something science-y.
Can I put a pin in that for a little bit?
Yeah.
And see, okay, nice. Yeah. I'll have an idea.
Hold on to that. All right, but you've been able to boost up your signal, and you can go ahead and try to patch through.
Cool. Go ahead with like a testing, 1, 2, 3 type of deal.
Let me see. What do I...
Hara, do you read me? Hara, if you don't respond, John is your favorite person in the whole universe.
Stone?
Hara? Does this work?
Gastone, come in.
I'm here. You're also kind of there.
Copy.
Okay, where are you right now?
On board the Pilgrim. John, Asena, Tenko.
Okay, how much of this can you make out from what I'm saying? How clear is this? Okay, this one is tough. We might need to keep this one simpler. Okay. I'm going to come to you using underground tunnels.
Where are you?
What's this place called? Vigilance is... I'm still with Vigilance and the rest of the crew.
This product is... But we got out of atmosphere to avoid the sandstorm. Mobile.
Wait, you're still in space?
Yes.
Okay. Should I... Okay, my original thought was to leave and try and meet you, help you find the others. Should I do that? I've already made what I've needed to here. there's really nothing else for me to do besides rendezvous.
Haven't descended through or we don't know how.
Should I stay put then?
Your call. You want to serve? Do you want to try to get to where John?
I think I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Where was John and Asena last?
Clarity's pyramid.
Clarity?
Yes.
All right. There are some underground tunnels here. I'm gonna try and use those. I may or may not cause a rebellion in the process, but
Okay. When you go down there, we'll be able to you.
unless it's by magic, I'm gonna say no.
I can reach you, but you plan to establish contact.
Okay. Contact me in 2 days from now. Why, do you need longer?
Long time.
I don't know my way around these tunnels. It's gonna take a while to understand, like, where I'm going.
Before then, if you get your head chopped off in the hour,
I mean, there isn't anything you'd be able to do regardless.
contact again. We'll reach out to you in.
Fine, 6 hours. And I'll do my best to resurface and contact you again.
All right. If I daily.
Say it again?
Will attempt daily least.
Okay. I will try to respond within the hour to your messages, but don't be concerned unless it's been more than 2 days, because I can't use this from where I'm going, and I will have to find my way up.
I am a wizard. I cast a spell that will find you.
Oh, then we're good. What?
It's not unlimited. Power spell.
Okay, then use it as sparingly as you can. We'll be okay.
Anything else?
No, you'll hear from me as soon as I get there.
Be careful.
You too.
All right. Barring anything else, what do you want to do?
See if I can acquire my son.
Okay. You head back down and make your way through the laboratory, climbing up through the access panels to avoid the glowing radiation that's spewed all over that chamber. And are you bringing anyone with you aside from Molly?
I'll bring most of the people with me for the majority, but the last stretch will just be Molly and I.
Okay, so basically you're going to bring everyone up to the airlock before the radiation, and then the two of you will crawl through?
Exactly.
Okay. When you arrive there, you see Samuel still just... Molly activates the Comprehend Languages spell, and then waves, "Hello, Samuel." He's glad to see that we're still alive.
Well, that's nice. Let's see. I'm gonna wave at Samuel and to get his attention.
Turns to you. This skin that's just a magnetic field holding back pure plasma, looking over at you.
So I'm gonna try and gesture like hey, point to him, point to Molly and I and the door, and just be like, come on down, you know what I mean? Like, let's go.
He's already at the source. Where will you go?
How do I describe home?
Good question. I can't talk to him.
Oh, I'm going to point to the thing he's touching, and then I'm going to point straight up.
He hopes to return. Do you also want to return?
Here? I thought he wanted to go home.
He said return.
I'm going to point back to this again, like questioningly. I don't know if that's actually a verb.
Okay. He's almost fed. He's going to return.
He's almost fed. Okay. What is the thing he is siphoning again?
It is a tachyon containment field. It holds particles that move at super relativistic speeds and affect the flow of time. It's also just an incredibly powerful energy source.
Wait. Do I still have that power source thing that was in John's bag for a long time?
The fusion reactor?
Yeah.
You were using it to recharge Asena's gun, but I don't think she took it with her.
What if I just pulled it out and offered it to him?
Mm-hmm.
See what he does.
We have bounty. Do not take from little.
What?
Generosity.
Oh, he means I don't need this though.
Well, apparently neither does he. In terms of relative energy sources, this is a lot more. The thing he's draining does have a lot more with it.
Hmm. What do you think he'll do once he's done?
Return?
What does that mean? Maybe he'll get enough energy and he can just leave? Or what if return to him is like return to nothing, as in he explodes?
I don't know anything about this. I've never encountered anything like this. In All Might, she's really excited. She's like, I've never encountered anything like Samuel in all my travels. I don't know the slightest thing about him, or his kind, or if he's unique, or if he's alone, or if he wants to be like this. All we know is that he comes from stars.
Now I can't stop thinking about the fact that returning for him might be exploding. Because literally, like, I swear stars explode and then they reform into new stars from like the dust or some shit like that.
That is true. That is the thing that they do. You know what?
Oh, God.
Let me take a look at something here real quick. I might have an out for this. I have an out for this.
I'm listening.
I do. So, Boguk Cairnmelter, the Dwarven Lorekeeper. He is a cleric. And after taking a long rest, he can change his spell list. He can cast tongues.
What?
Yeah. I should have realized this earlier. If he drops one spell from his spell list, oh my God. Okay, so after yesterday's troubles, slight rewrite on this. You can have all that conversation that just happened, but slight rewrite on this. Boguk Cairnmelter has the spell Sending. Sending lets you send a message of 25 words or less to any creature in the universe. It can work across different planes of existence, but there's a 5% chance that it doesn't work. But it's a 3rd level spell. That's the spell that Hara has been using to stay in contact. So 1, he has a limited number of castings, but he can help you contact from anywhere you go. A limited number of times a day. He can get in touch with anybody else, any of your friends.
That's good.
2, he has another level 3 spell called Tongues. Tongues grants one creature the ability to understand any spoken language, and when the target speaks, any creature that knows at least one language can understand what you say. So, if he spends one of his 3rd level spells, he could grant you the ability to actually communicate with Samuel.
Yeah, do that.
All right, let's see what spell he's going to drop. We'll drop Death Ward and hope that's not a bad choice. And cast Tongues. Okay. So, gathered all together, right before you climb into the thing, he's going to go ahead and give you that blessing, burn a level 3 spell slot. And I need to figure out if I was using a specific voice for Samuel, because now you can actually communicate with him.
You know what's so funny too? I can just picture like Molly and Gastone talking in the room, and just from the airlock, Boigness is like, I can't help but notice you have a language problem.
Yes. Boguk, the clean-shaven dwarf, rather than the cocky big hat dwarf, has been thinking about this the whole time. And so he will go ahead and... What voice do I want to use for this? This one will do. Okay, he blesses you, and for the next hour, you can speak with and be understood by any creature that understands at least one language.
It's broken.
Magic, baby.
Yeah. All
right. We head on back in. After having that whole conversation, Boguk was like, I actually prepared something for this. I didn't, He zaps you, you crawl back in, you are standing once again in the chamber with Samuel.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
Wow. I wasn't ready for it to be this easy. I guess we'll start from the beginning. What are you?
My kind are called plasmar. We dance in the magnetic corona of thermonuclear reactions. Spontaneous star stuff. We do not often encounter organic matter like you.
Me specifically or us?
Your kind. When we do, they are rarely as perceptive as you. Thank you for freeing me.
You're welcome. Honestly, it was kind of a dice roll, but either way, I'm glad it worked. What is your goal?
I want to return home.
Where is home?
I believe a different reality than this one.
What does that require of you?
This is a weak point in space-time due to continuous tachyon acceleration. I am hoping to be able to leap through it and go home. It is quantum entangled with the correct universal resonance. It is tied to the other side.
Is that a thing you'd be able to quantify?
How so? It is connected. The tachyons here are quantum entangled with the tachyons of the world where I hail from. I hope to be able to pass through it.
So it just happens to be set correctly.
They brought me here. From there.
Why?
Their experiments.
What did they do to you?
I don't understand. Perhaps used as an energy source, perhaps studied. There are qualities of laws of physics here that do not exist where I come from. The interactions of the two.
Oh. Is there a risk to what you're trying to do?
Yes,
Which is?
I'm attempting to pass through a quantum tunnel. I could be spaghettified in the process. Plasmar should be able to survive. If the energy connection is insufficient, it could disconnect and I might be stranded.
And you think this is enough?
Yes,
Let's say you succeed. What happens to this?
it may collapse.
There it is. Causing what?
Unknown. Very unpredictable rift. Light contamination, radiation burst, dimensional collapse, localized, not dimension-wide.
Fair. Are you in a rush?
I have been waiting 10,000 years.
How long do your kind live?
Good question. Approximately the life cycle of one star.
Well then, if you give me some time, I might be able to help you in a way that will, 1, not spaghettify you, 2, not cause any dimensional collapse, local or otherwise, and 3, it will take a lot less than 10,000 years.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage, please.
You've been very convincing so far. Displayed surprising acumen for a biological organism. What do you need?
Truthfully? Time? And maybe your help.
What manner of help?
A few things. 1, your ability to open doors is astonishing and something we could definitely make use of. And also, this device here, are you able to find others like it?
Great sources of energy I can sense. Not necessarily restricted to this type, but any powerful energy supply. Yes.
So, technically, here's what I'm thinking. Because the tachyons in this storage device are coded to where you came from, 1, that's something I might be able to make note of and something I can recreate later. 2, I'm thinking about going back to where we originally found you because now that I know what to look for, it might also contain that kind of information, making this easier to get done, and then we could do this somewhere else.
Possible. There is also, somewhere on this facility, a gate that leads back to the destination. I can't sense it. It must be inactive.
When you say this facility, you mean the area we've been in currently, or because technically a lot of these facilities are connected via underground tunnel?
I have not been outside for 10,000 years.
So it's here. Then,
I was brought here elsewhere. This is a very large facility. I was brought here from another area. I was extracted by an organic vessel in the corona of a star and transported to a planet. I have limited access to information about what happened after that. I was in storage, but we passed through a gate that arrived here.
oh, but that gate is what you're talking about that's in this facility.
I am aware that it exists somewhere in this facility, but I cannot sense it, so it must be dormant. That would be designed to transport back to the correct reality. This is not designed to do that.
Okay. That will make things easier, that's for sure. We just have to find it. We've been restoring at least some functions in this facility, so
You have displayed aptitude. I believe you.
So at this point, you wouldn't be able to sense it, but you might be able to, again, as I call back to your stellar ability to open doors, give us an easier time finding it.
In your language, the word stellar is connected to stars. This is strangely appropriate.
Funny enough, it's the same for us too.
You have caused a pun.
Yes, I'm glad you noticed. So, what do you say? Some extra time, and we do this properly?
Your generosity and technical prowess are obvious. Yes.
I would offer to shake on it, but I'm pretty sure I would die.
Yes.
All right. I suppose we should get started. Wait, since you can absorb energy and things like that, are you able to absorb radiation by any chance?
What is beyond in that room? Yes.
Nice. Could you do that? Because the information we seek might be in there.
What is your time frame?
For what?
I can accelerate the deterioration of that energy by a factor of 10, reducing it from 100 years to 10 years.
Could you add another 0 by any chance? Actually, 3 zeros?
No.
Hmm.
There are certain physical properties present in the waste that has spilled that I cannot immediately negate. Chemical rather than energetic.
I see. What if we clean that up?
Possible. It does not harm me. I do not have tools that will allow me to move it without destroying those tools.
And that's probably not something I can make in such a short amount of time. Are you able to interact with computers or anything like that to read information?
I am made of a very strong magnetic field.
So no.
Most likely not. These devices are not necessarily stored in magnetic format, but I am not able to safely physically interface with them. Press button, make button melty.
Yes, I got that. So
Good.
let's see. With the remaining hour, you found this room and were beelining towards it because you could sense the energy, right?
Yes.
Can you sense anything like it in the immediate? Well, not the immediate, but just in the vicinity.
Not close by. This is the strongest local. There are others deeper.
So, for frame of reference, what would be closer? This, or just in your estimation, the gate or one of these other power sources?
Power sources.
The power sources are closer.
Yes. I cannot sense the gate. I don't know where it is.
Oh, okay. So
I have been in custody since I was brought here. I know I passed through it. I know it was active. I know it is no longer active.
Okay. So how about this? Come with us a little higher up. We will discuss with the Marruspawn, find out what they know, since they've spent the last 10,000 years here like you did, but not in a pod, and see if that information will help us.
Yes.
All right.
And Samuel will he's not going to exactly follow you. He's just going to walk through the room. Because he can.
He can.
But yeah, he has joined the party.
Nice. I'm also going to go to Boigness, be like, yeah, I'm going to need that spell a lot.
Sorry. Again, DM's fault for naming these goddamn dwarves. It's Boguk.
Boguk. My bad.
Tell you what, why don't we call him by his last name from now on? Cairnmelter. So we've got Boigness and Cairnmelter. That might make it easier. Or give him some other nickname. Baldy. Although he wouldn't appreciate that. That would be very rude because they shave their beards because their planet is the one that got conquered by the Illithids. All right. You have added Samuel to the party. You're the only one who actually, you and Molly are the only ones who understand him as long as the spell lasts.
Yeah.
And Cairn Melter can either cast the spell that lets you communicate with other people, or he can, which by the way, he could try to use to contact John.
John, who is missing.
John, who is missing.
That's a good idea. So then, that's definitely something I would like him to do.
Okay. If Matt responds in chat, we'll do that.
Okay. And then, but until then,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go ask. It's vigilance, right? Yes. Also, you're muted.
+1 XP.
Yep. Okay. So, with that in mind, yeah, I would like to speak to vigilance.
Mm-hmm. By the way, if you want if you want Cairn Melter to contact John, draft for me a message of 25 words or less.
Okay, I'm gonna DM it to you.
Mm-hmm. And there's a 5% chance if he's in a different universe, there's a 5% chance it doesn't work.
Wait, he can't use magic, can he?
John? No, but the spell allows a response.
Okay.
Hara used this in our last episode. She contacted you with this spell, and you were able to draft a response up to 25 words or less.
Gotcha.
So even if they're a non-caster, they can respond.
Okay, I've sent you. I've sent you what I want.
Okay, roll 1d100 for me, please. $97. I need to read the description of the spell to see if it's specific or not. Because technically that could be a failure, depending on if it's high or low roll. 5%. Okay, so normally when I do a percent chance, I always do like 0 to 1. I do under for percentages. So I'm going to see that works. All right. Well, sending spell for you from Boguk Cairnmelter. I'm going to DM him and respond to this message. There we go. I just DM'd him on Discord. We'll see if he responds right now or not.
That'd be jokes.
All right. So he does that. You want to talk to Vigilance through your herald, Boignus Kimzabin.
Yeah.
How does the Ancient One wish to communicate?
Something. I seek a gate meant for travel. Interdimensional, probably inactive. Do you have schematics of this facility in any capacity?
The gates of heaven. It was the dominion of Admin before he fell.
Where are they?
At the very base of the city. At its deepest heart is the gate to heaven. But since Admin fell, the abomination was unleashed, and it collapsed upon it and became its tomb. I know the way, but it is long, and the beast lurks down there. Roll an insight check for me, please.
Oops.
That's fine. We'll take the first roll. Great one. You should know. It has been our teaching for time untold that for its part in the abomination is why the ancients forsook us. It was the last creation, and it was tainted. It was our greatest failure. It is sacrosanct. It is forbidden. It is verboten. We have been taught to shun and hate it for many, many years, but wisdom says otherwise.
Wait,
Wisdom.
Is this the Marruspawn?
What? You're talking vigilance?
Is he talking about?
Yes.
No, but is he
the
talking
abomination?
about
Yeah,
Oh
the thing you guys want to hunt. It's buried
Yeah.
at the gate to heaven. And for years, they were told that it was unholy, it was sacrosanct, all these things. But wisdom teaches that they should find it, dig it back up, because it is the pinnacle of their evolution, and it is the tool by which they will wipe out all the non-Marruspawn and lead to the ancients returning.
It's like 40%, right?
So wisdom is looking for it, deliberately digging down towards the gates of heaven, which are collapsed.
Do you know where it is?
Yes. The gates to heaven? Yes. I know the way.
Show us. We can't go there yet until the rest of us are...
We don't have a
together.
schematic here, Great One. There is no altar of knowledge with which I can show you. But I could probably draw something out. And Vigilance will draw it's imperfect. It's clearly inspired by technical diagrams and holograph, projections of the city, but you're able to get a better idea of the entire city. It's got tons and tons of spires connected by ziggurat pyramid structures that sort of merge between them. In its heyday, the entire city was this massive, almost satellite dish that rose up from a central column and then radiated into a huge dish covered with spires on the top where ships would arrive and dock. The gate to heaven is at the very center of the dish and in the bottom, and you're somewhere about a third of the way in. The way is winding, and it passes through the territory of many others, some loyal to wisdom, others not. We could take you there, but it would be a perilous journey, should the others not heed your greatness.
This is tough because I kind of want to do it because I'm not really concerned now because we have Samuel and he's like dummy turbo broken. But it would also be really weird if we just, you know what? Let's go scope it out a little bit. I want to see.
Okay. All right. You want to make the journey?
Yeah, at least part way.
Okay. Who do you want to accompany you? Obviously, you've got your whole party, consisting right now of Molly Leiklin, Cairn Melter, Captain Domnica, Boigness, Samuel, and you. 6 people in your party. Vigilance is also at your disposal and is willing to either go with you and or send you with an escort.
No, he comes with us.
Okay. It would be my great honor to go with you. And he's going to roll squad deep. He's going to pull... Who can he pull? I think right now they're more concerned about incursions from below than above. So they're going to pull some people from upstairs. All right. So you're going to have an escort of 4 Maru Salts and 6 Maru Lurks going with you. This is a badass group you've got with you right now. This is a lot of firepower. Let me just copy paste everyone into position. The Maru Lurks will go scout the way ahead of you and take up the rear, staying in stealth to make sure that you guys are secure. And they are willing to lead you down into the depths. I don't have maps for the entire thing because it's a sprawling complex miles wide. But they are willing to lead you down into the depths. Is there any other prep work that you want to do while you're at it?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna quickly ask Samuel. Does he need the gate to be activated by us, or is that something he can manage?
Unknown. It depends on the state of repair of the gate. Complex equipment may require your assistance, may require power source. I can provide some of the power if it is in a state of good repair, and if it will not undo me. My reserves are limited.
Okay. Then we go.
All right. And so this squad of like 1, 2, 3, let's see, 10, 11, 17 people, including 4 large-sized, towering, jackal-headed Anubian warriors, descend down deeper into the catacombs. And as you go through, it's this bizarre mixture. Sometimes it's sandy, it's like sandstone, right out of a pyramid from Kemet back on the world of Yord where you come from. Sometimes it's plasteel, clean hallways. Sometimes it's plunged into total darkness. Sometimes the artificial lights are still working. There are whole sections that have been collapsed and new tunnels have been dug out of the sand, which has fallen so deep over the years that it's become compact and like almost turned into sandstone itself. Normally, if you were doing this all yourself, this would be a skill challenge where you'd have to use navigation and persuasion and all sorts of other things in order to make your way through. The fact that you have this squad with you is a huge advantage. However, here's the thing. If anybody asks you what your business is, wisdom has taught them that the ancients will not return until all mortals are scourged from the world. Well, all non-Marruspawn are scourged.
I'd have to scourge wisdom.
1, yes. But 2, your existence, if you are walking around saying, or not saying, but like still presenting as one of the ancients, then your existence, your presence amongst this hive city of thousands of Marruspawn is a direct challenge to wisdom's authority. So, you don't need to navigate. You've got navigators for you. But you do need to figure out your approach to the political situation. Are you going quietly, trying not to be seen as one of the ancients, or are you going openly?
Openly.
Openly. Okay.
Openly.
Okay. All right. Sheesh. Sheesh. I'm going to roll a charisma check for Vigilance, who is speaking on your behalf. 21. Prepare ye the way, for our predecessors walk amongst us. Already they have returned, and we have been found worthy. I am going to roll for Boigness, acting... Actually, why don't you roll 1d20 for Boigness acting as your envoy? He rolls 1d20 plus 11 for Persuasion. Because he's a con man. That's his whole shtick. Okay.
Wow.
23. He is doing a fantastic job of gussying everybody up and acting like, behold, we are the ancients. Yes, we have returned. Roll 1d20 plus 7 for Captain Domnica's intimidation. 25. Okay. Acting like, a warrior of their predecessor race who's this badass bodyguard. For Cairnmilter, roll 1d20 plus 6 for a performance check. Okay, a 9. He didn't really particularly help, but he can still offer guidance on one of these rolls. Also, he doesn't look like... He's not a human, and humans are supposed to be the ancients, so that's kind of why he's not super contributing to this. And Boigness has a hat of disguise, so he can appear as a human if he wants to. For Molly Leiklin, roll 1d20 plus 9 for perception or survival to help you keep an eye out for targets and see the lay of the land. 12. Okay. Am I missing anybody? Roll 1d20 for being a goddamn plasma creature. Is that a natural 1?
I didn't see a dice roll. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that got borked. Try again.
1d20. There we go. Oh, well.
Okay. He's just sort of floating around doing, plasma stuff, accidentally melting things along the way. Still an impressive creature to just exist and be traveling with you. And finally, for your part, how, aside from just walking around being a silent badass and acting like you are, the returning god, what are you doing to sell the fact that you are one of the ancients?
Damn. What am I doing to be one of the ancients? What technology do I have? You know what I'm going to do? This would require a minor retcon from you, the DM, but I'm going to wear my exosuit on the outside.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
You also still have something sciencey from chat.
I want to save that.
Okay.
I got
in that case, add it to your inventory, because we're down to 7 minutes before or less. We're going to basically end at the next good ending point.
Something sciencey from
chat. Yeah. Keep that in mind. Keep that in your pocket. You also have some parafilm, which I believe is useful for biological research. So go ahead and I'll ping you with that later. But you're wearing your exosuit on the outside as an... Okay, roll a science check then. I will allow you to roll a science check to do behold an act of science.
Behold an act of science.
Okay, a 17. All right. The Marruspawn lurkers, the Marru lurks who are following in your footsteps, report that you are being followed everywhere you go through these tunnels, down no longer functional turbo lifts that you have to descend and climb, and through winding tunnels that have been carved. Again, you've got this technological infrastructure, and then warrens that have been carved out over thousands of years by the Marruspawn living here. The stench as you get deeper and deeper. The stench of being under the earth where creatures have been dwelling for thousands of years. Sweat and blood and the tang of metal, where they've gathered the zymes fermenting in deep caverns as you pass one cell after another. Even eventually you get so deep that there's a little bit of moisture in the air. Is it a water table, or is it just that you're so far down? But you are being followed by so many other Marru lurks. As you go, as word of your presence spreads and you pass from one cell to the next, they have to send their spies out to say, who is this person? Is this an imposter? Is this real? What the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And as you get deeper and deeper, the murmurs of dissent and uncertainty spread in your wake. All these Marruspawn cells have been dwelling, each with their own Marrutact, leaders like vigilance and clarity and discernment and patience, all these others, each of them leading their own people, tensely, tersely united by wisdom's force of will and presence of mind. And as you make your way along, you start to hear shouts, guttural barks, the dismal howling bays of the Marrusalts, combat in the corridors. Those who have been grumbling against wisdom's word for years and years and looking for an opportunity are taking it. Roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom.
16. Okay. The Marrusalts, they're elite assault warriors. They have the howl of defiance, a terrifying howl that strikes fear into the hearts of everyone that isn't a Marrusalt themselves. You start to hear that eerie jackal howl through an impossibly large lungs and throats, echoing in an unearthly fashion, bouncing off the walls of this ancient warren, triggering the very primal instincts of your primitive ancestors to flee or hide, but you completely no-sell it. You are in control here. Seeing that diligence in your face, war breaks out. You start to hear fireballs going off. You start to hear spells being activated, a few caches of ancient weapons, and your guards move you quickly and hushedly through the corridors, trying to get you through to safety. Your presence and the return of the ancients has activated a civil war as one sect turns against the other. And in the darkness, they aren't always able to identify each other. Sometimes you have to hurry down through corridors, but again, your guides lead you unerringly towards it. Now, as you get deeper and deeper into the heart, and Samuel begins to detect energy sources, the tongues spell, has worn off. Hours have gone by as you've made your way down. And at last, you reach a critical juncture. Deep in the infrastructure, far away from the laboratories and the dormitories and the barracks and the armories, the vast warehouses where machinery and airships and weapons were once stored, you've reached the deep infrastructure of this place. And you're noticing more and more rounded corridors, wide enough for hovercraft and other large ships to go to and from the heart of the facility. But up ahead, there's a blockade. Forces loyal to wisdom have gathered. They are holding the way, blocking the path to the doors, the gates of heaven. And vigilance tells you, Great One, tells your herald, Great One, it seems that the word of your arrival has fallen on deaf ears. We have a choice here. We wish to know your will. Do we punch through and fight for your glory to retake the gates of heaven? Or do we turn aside down a hidden path and go to wisdom's court instead?
So wisdom himself is not here.
He is. Not here, not in front of you.
That's what I mean, yeah.
But if you don't, you can either punch through and get to the gates of heaven, or take a side passage that will lead you to wisdom's place of power, the center of his authority.
I think wisdom's court is the better place to go for now.
Okay.
I would no, I'll say when we get there, so it's okay.
All right. So you choose the path of wisdom. You choose the path of, all right, very well. Vigilance, as the prophet of a new era, a new time of rejuvenation amongst the Marruspawn, and his loyalists, turn aside and prepare to enter the throne room of the would-be prophet and master of all the Marruspawn, leading Gastone into a confrontation with wisdom himself on our next episode of Coriander Society Adventures. Thank you everybody so much for joining us. Stick around. I believe that Pixie Riot is in the middle of a stream, so let's go ahead and raid them, see what they're up to. Send out lots of love and affection. But again, thank you everyone for watching, and take care.